Assistant Program Director over in the Occupational Therapy Assistant Program, the newest academic program to Union College. And so we are just honored to be here tonight to share with you a little bit more about what we have going on in our brand new space. The program is new to Union College, so we are just in our second academic year. We've just enrolled our second group of students that started the program this semester in January. So we have 16 students in the second cohort and 12 who were a member of our first cohort. That first group of students is currently in their last semester of the program. They are out on fieldwork assignments, actually all across the country. One student even in Bermuda this semester completing her fieldwork rotations. And so they are really on the ground in various healthcare settings, learning those hands-on skills directly from professionals out in the field. And so we're very excited for them, and we will be very excited to welcome them back to campus in May for graduation. A little bit about our program. We are an associate's degree program. So our students come to us for what we call the pre-OTA semester first, where they are learning a little bit about the career path, taking general education courses. And then they join us for space, which you'll have a chance to see here in a little bit. And we actually have fieldwork incorporated every semester of the program. So our students right off the bat are getting out into the field, learning from other professionals and working with patients, which we think is the best way to get them prepared to enter the workforce. Occupational therapy as a profession is a really exciting and growing field, just like many healthcare professions are, because there is such a need for our services. And so our students will be able to enter the workforce in what we call non-traditional or community-based settings, as well as a lot of the traditional healthcare settings that you might think of. And so we prepare our students to be qualified professionals after just 2 years with us, and we're excited to see our first group get out there and join the workforce after this semester. So more importantly tonight, I'm excited for you to have a chance to hear from a couple of our students. They can tell you a little bit more about what it's truly like to be a part of our program and their own personal experience. So first off, I'm going to introduce Zachary Perrin. Zach is a member of our second cohort group, so he just began the program this year in January. Zach also was a previous Union College graduate, actually, and he was inspired for a new opportunity, a career change maybe, to be an occupational therapy assistant after he worked with OTAs in the school system where he is employed. So we are very happy to have Zach back to Union as a member of our new program, and I will let him take it away, share a little bit about his experience.
Thank you, Dr. Humry. Hi, my name is Zachary Perrin, and as you already know, I'm an alumni coming back to the OTA program. And I'm very blessed and excited to be back here. It's wonderful to have such a great cohort of students to work with this year to be able to meet all these new people. I'm excited because they all have such an eagerness to learn and such a passion to serve, and I'm excited to get to know all of them over the year. It's also wonderful to have our professors that are spearheading the program. They're doing such a wonderful job at helping us understand what is expected of us at a professional level, and also making us comfortable in the OTA program as well, and also preparing us and helping us become more confident as we go through our field work. Also the facility, I don't know if any of you have seen the facility virtually yet, but it's an absolutely beautiful facility. It has all the amenities that a home would have, as well as a little clinical area as well, so we'll be able to utilize tools and be able to stimulate other field work settings. And I'm excited to dive deeper into that. So personally, what got me into occupational therapy is the holistic approach that an occupational therapist takes with a client that has always really opened my eyes, and also the creativity that an occupational therapist has to have in order to treat certain situations. So I'm excited to become more acquainted with my creative side and to learn more throughout the OTA program.
Very good. Well, thank you, Zach. Thanks for sharing. Next up, we want to share with you a tour of our OTA program space. So Zach and I both have mentioned just in our intro that we really feel blessed as a new program to have a beautiful new department, our own classroom space and a lab space, like Zach mentioned, that is really set up intentionally to prepare students to enter a variety of different settings that they might be working with a patient in the future. And so we have a virtual tour to share with you tonight, and it's led by one of our students, Abby. So we'll have you take a look.
Hi, my name is Abigail Logan, and I'm a student here at Union College. I'm studying occupational therapy assistance, and this is one of my favorite buildings, and I want to show you why. So this is the lobby area, and as you can see, we have a lot of couches and a fireplace to make it comfortable. We've done a lot of events in this lobby. We've actually held peer-led groups talking about stress and burnouts that other students can come and listen to. This next room is our lab, and this has all the things we need as occupational therapist assistants to practice working with patients. So as you can see, it's modeled after an actual home with components such as a kitchen, a bedroom area, and even a bathroom area. And this helps us to practice what occupational therapy assistants actually do, which is getting patients to integrate back into their daily lives, doing occupations and tasks that are important to them and meaningful to them. We have a lot of equipment such as some wheelchairs, front-wheeled walkers, and we even have an overhead beam that is designed for swings that can be used in therapy. So this is our classroom, and it has a lot of equipment in it in the back closets, such as games and assessments that can be used in our interventions or the therapy sessions that we actually do with clients. Some of the classes that I'm doing in here this semester are pediatrics, which is all about how to work with kids, and mental health, which has been very interesting to learn about and how that works in a community setting. Our awesome faculty's offices are over here, and we are also connected to the PA building through this way. Thank you for visiting Occupational Therapy Assistants. We hope you join us soon.
All right, well, we hope that you enjoyed our mini tour of the department and seeing a little bit about kind of what a day in the life looks like for one of our OTA program students. We would love to welcome you in person someday, but in the meantime, hopefully our virtual tour gave you a little taste of what our brand new department is really like. As we move into our last part of the programming for tonight, I just wanted to take a second to again thank you for the opportunity for having us, but to also say that as a brand new program, we are just very grateful to our Union College family, both everyone here on campus as well as probably many of you on the call tonight. We felt a lot of encouragement and support as we go through all that it takes to develop a brand new program and get it off the ground. Things even like alumni who are out there who have offered to house our students as they head out to fieldworks in different states that might not be familiar to them. And so we are just very thankful for your support. And we would be happy to connect if you've got questions or would want to hear more about what we're doing here. We'd be happy to connect and share more with you. For our final part of the programming tonight, we want you to hear from one more student, though. This student is Brittany Fast, and she is a current student from our first cohort group of students. So she is off campus right now participating in fieldwork this semester. And because of that, she couldn't be here tonight, but she shared a recorded video with her message for us. So take a look at Brittany's video.
So currently I'm in Overland Park, Kansas at my internship. It's called Brain Balance. It's a pediatric location. A lot of these kids are functioning pretty well, like they're going to school, like normal schools. We're just helping them, like a lot of the kids that we see have a lot of behavioral issues, ADHD, autism, Down syndrome, ODD, and getting them fully functioning is our goal. And a lot of them go out of here off of medicine, which is really cool to see like their progress. So it's definitely a whole different learning experience for sure. Like in classroom, it's a lot of just sitting there and listening and learning through like other people's experiences, and here it's you're learning from your own experience and people like on the job, and you're learning, you're touching them, you're figuring out what works best with each patient. And so it's definitely a huge difference because you don't like classroom is just thinking about it and we're actually doing it here, so it's a lot different situation, I guess, but it's a lot more fun here, of course. My favorite, though, I have this one kid that we have to take on a one-on-one is what we call it, and it's just you're with this kid alone for an hour and you have things you have to do with them. And I started that about 2.5 weeks ago. And when I first started working with him, like, he would not work with me alone. He was like, no, I want somebody else. And like, this is my hardest kid. And he just refused and refused and refused. And I was so like defeated. And like, I didn't know what to do. Like, every time I got done with him, I was like, I want to go home and cry. Like, I'm not making any progress. Like, this is awful. Am I meant to be an OTA? Like, this is so bad. And I think it was last week. He was refusing, like I said, and I decided that we were just not going to do anything. And I was going to pull him into a ball and just hold him and give him deep pressure. And then I turned on some lullabies and we just sat there and I just held him, and you could feel like the tension leaving and like him just relaxing. And I started doing one of our exercises that has him like in a ball shape kind of thing. And from then on, like, we've just like, he's connected with me so well, and like our sessions have been amazing and they go so much more smooth, and he doesn't fight me on it. And so it was just one of those things where it was like, it clicked, and like we're building that relationship of like, he's trusting me more and we're doing our activities and our exercises. It's definitely a challenge, but it's also so rewarding.
Well, it's so nice to hear about the occupational therapy program and how the students and the faculty are doing, and we look forward to hearing more from them as time goes on. I'd like to shift gears a little bit here and talk about our International Rescue and Relief Program. Many of you may be familiar with that program. It's one of our most popular majors on campus. And in this next video we're going to show in a minute here, we're going to look in on how they're doing this semester. You see, at the end of their academic experience, they have a capstone semester in which they usually go abroad and apply what they've been learning in the classroom. They do both medical relief work and also development work, usually overseas. In past years, we've been in Africa, in Malawi. Just last year, when a cyclone hit, they actually got directly engaged in the relief efforts right after the storm. In fact, the government of Malawi was flying our students around in helicopters to be able to assist with really bad hit areas. Now, in previous years, it's always been international. This year, because of the COVID restrictions on travel, we've had to look more domestically. And so what you're going to see here in a moment is our students have actually traveled for a full semester up to Alaska, and they are doing the same sort of work here in the United States, specifically in rural areas of Alaska. So I'm really excited to see with you what our students are up to. This video will be kind of an update of what they were doing just last week.
This week we had our clinicals, so we had to get up really early, like around 5, so we could leave by 5:40. And we drove into Anchorage, and we had 2 different sites. There was the ground team and then the air team. So we each got at least 1 shift with each team. Super cool. They were super nice people. We got to ride along to different places to pick up patients, and they let us help some where we could, and then they helped us review a lot of things.
Alaska is so huge that a lot of the time people need to be air transported to different locations. Even situations such as severe burns have to be transported elsewhere because Alaska actually doesn't have its own burn unit. On my flight shift in Anchorage, I got to see something truly wonderful. We went to a small town called Bethel that doesn't have the best hospital. We went there and received a patient going into sepsis from appendicitis. But on the way back through that, we flew through a wonderful Aurora Borealis display, and that was fantastic. I don't think that I'll ever be able to say that I've flown through it at midnight with a patient on a Learjet. That's probably a once-in-a-lifetime thing for me.
So this week we did flight and ground shifts with FlifeMed Alaska, and I actually got to do a flight shift. It was super cool. I went on a flight to Homer, Alaska. So we went there, we picked up our patient. He was experiencing some kidney stones. So we transported him back to Anchorage, gave him some pain meds, got him to the hospital so that he could get those kidney stones removed. But it was just a really, really awesome experience.
So 5 of us who are students here are global community development students, and we had an awesome class this week called Development and Logistics Analysis, where we got to learn all about project management. It was a great class, and a couple of us, I think, want to become project managers now.
While we weren't on calls or anything like that, a lot of people have been reading or relaxing or just recovering for the tough week ahead of us. So it's been a fun week.
Hello, from Maddie and Maddie. We are making breakfast and need to make it cold. Pasta salad is too warm, so we are doing it the Alaskan way. Yes. Look at that chilled pasta salad. Good work. It's not breakfast, it's lunch!
One of my favorite times of the week is when the IRR group releases their new video, and I hope you'll have opportunity to see more of what they've been up to. And if you want to see any of the first 5 videos, please go to our YouTube channel or our website. I'm very excited to announce that next week, on Thursday, is Tuition Freedom Day. And what that means is for our students, what they pay, they've completed their portion of the academic year that they pay for, and donors pay for the remainder of the year. So from March 4 through till the end of the school year, our students are funded by the generous gifts of our donors, and we celebrate that with an event we call Tuition Freedom Day. And next year, next week, everybody on campus gets a free lunch, free dessert, and we're going to be preparing some postcards of thanks to send out to our donors. But this evening, I wanted you to hear from our students firsthand. And so with me, I have Leif Lastine, who is a junior theology major, and Hannah Roberts, who is a senior business administration major. And I just want them to share with you a little bit about what it means to their educational experience to have the support of scholarships to be here. So Leif, why don't you go first?
Sure. Thank you, Leanne. Absolutely. You know, I would love just the opportunity to say thank you because your donations have made such a tremendous impact in my life. And I'd like to give you an example or two of that. Recently, I became the recipient of a Winnegar Scholarship Award, and I thought my schedule was full before I received that. You know, some of you might know what that's like. But as soon as I received the reward, I was just overwhelmed with gratitude and with thanksgiving. And it made the difference in my life. It made me decide that I could give a little bit more than I was. And so I decided to be more active and be a part of campus ministries, starting with men's ministries. And that's just one of the fruits of some of your donations. So I want to say a big thank you. And there's really so much more. I know we think about scholarships as just one of those, you know, it helps pay the bills and make the ends meet. But it does so much more than that. Because Union College is a community that's unlike any that I've really been a part of. And each of you are really a part of that as well. And so you aren't just sustaining that community in your donations, but you're also creating it into the type of community that's really more giving and trusting, and it creates incentive to strive for excellence. So I just want to say thank you once again.
And I don't know if you had an opportunity to read Hannah's story in one of our weekly emails, but Hannah, you've worked hard to be here.
I have.
And I just want you to share a little bit of your story and what it means for you to get some financial support.
Of course. So I actually started as an education major, but recently changed to a business major in November of 2019. And that was a bit of a struggle because I had already been here 4 years, and I knew that if I was going to change majors, I would need help on the financial side. Adventist education is very worth it, but we do know that it is also very expensive. And due to the generosity of donors that we have here at Union, I have been able to get through my classes and not have to stress about financials due to your donations that you have provided not only to me, but to many other students. And that has been such a blessing. And that is just another sign of our great Union College community. we are always very willing to help others, and because of you guys, I have been able to attend here and finish out my degree very soon to the help of you guys, and so that's been very grateful. I've been very grateful for that.
So Hannah, I think the favorite line in your story is that you had to work hard to be here, but it was worth it.
It was. It still is, and I'm very grateful that I've been able to attend here and complete my degree.
So we are just so happy that we can provide these financial aid packages to our students, and I just hope that you can feel in your heart what it means to these young people to have your support, your encouragement, and we just, all three of us, say thank you in a very special way. So we're getting to about the middle of our program, and if you have any questions from anything you've heard so far, please feel free to enter those in the chat, and we'll be ready to answer those during the Q&A time. So be thinking about what you would like to ask. We are very proud of all of our students, and every once in a while they get tasked with a big job. And our friends from Advent Health in Florida asked our communication majors to do something very special, and I want to share this video with you of what they've been up to help Advent Health.
So for the Creation Health project, we're working on creating a journal for mostly college students and just teaching them the different aspects of creation, like nutrition and activity and rest and all that great stuff.
It was interesting to see how students from other schools came up with the articles and seeing them explain each part of creation.
We're able to pull in from a whole lot of different colleges and universities across the United States.
PUC, Walla Walla, Southern Andrews.
This is a brand new experience for me. I've never worked on anything with writing or being published.
This class was different from my normal classes because we're actually involved in doing something real and not just studying to get a grade.
It was a lot of responsibility, and I was really surprised they were trusting us that much with such a big project. And so for me that was really cool because I want to work in editorial and publishing work, so this is right up my alley.
Very fun exploring all the opportunities and working with everybody involved, trying to create something new that I haven't seen done before.
So hey, I want to talk to you a little bit about something new and exciting that's happening here at Union. My name is Ryan Teller, and I work with the Integrated Marketing Communications Office. And you may have seen it on our website or in our email or on social media, but we've introduced we're kicking off a new brand and introducing a new logo and visual identity to go along with that. And hopefully, if you haven't had a chance, you can check out the story on our website. But I want to tell you a little bit about it. First of all, just a little bit of background. It had actually been since 2003 that Union College last did a brand refresh where we created the current logo that you have seen here on our set. And in fact, we had intended to have a new logo ready to go for the set, but it got stuck in Tennessee thanks to the ice storm, so we had to go with the old logo one more time. But in that time, it's been 18 years since 2003, the higher education landscape had changed dramatically. And we no longer had the distinctiveness that we used to have over competitors. You can see on your screen right now that these are the three logos for the three Union colleges here in North America. The one at our Union College on the left, the Union College in New York in the middle, and the Union College in Kentucky on the right. And you can see there's not a lot of difference there. There's a lot of confusion. We also lacked a clear and consistent brand message and visual identity that separated us from our competitors. So we embarked on a year-long project that has unveiled a new logo and visual identity to give the school a bold new look and highlight a brand message around Union's vision to mentor every student to become a highly sought graduate who serves joyfully in God's calling. Union's new logo uses a bold, angular font to distinguish the college from other higher education institutions, particularly those with the words Union and College in their title, like we just saw. The large U emphasizes Union's focus on each student as an individual while providing a distinctive design element. The two ribbons comprising the U reference Union College's heritage of global mission service, celebrated at the annual Golden Cord ceremony each year at homecoming weekend. This visually and thematically ties the new logo to the two previous college logos, which similarly integrated the tradition of the Golden Cords. Red and black have been Union's official colors throughout the school's history, and only the shade has been changed slightly to fit modern design styles. Also, the college has adopted a new shield symbol representing the institution and the Warrior athletic teams interchangeably. The shield shape is less evocative of any particular culture or ethnicity than the previous Warriors logo, and it serves as a better metaphor for the spiritual battles for which the Warrior name was originally chosen. Displaying the stylized U from the logo, the shield shape illustrates part of the armor of God. Throughout the Bible, a shield is used to describe God's protection, His faithfulness, and His faith for those who believe in Him. Union's new tagline, Finding Purpose, Unlocking Potential, summarizes Union's brand message by emphasizing a commitment to helping people discover God's calling in a career that provides meaning for a lifetime through personal mentorship, learning experiences, and a spiritual community that helps students become the person God created them to be. This new visual identity supports a revamped brand message that helps us tell Union's story in a new and distinctive way. Here are a couple of highlights from our brand book. First, the message platform, the summary of who we are. We are close-knit, compassionate, connected, powered by care and connected by community. You can find us in business, in healthcare, and in spreading good news globally. Our promise, Union College pushes you deeper into your faith and prepares you for lifelong growth in your career, in your community, and your life. Why us? We see through the noise and connect to the heart of learning, relationships. We bring out the best in students and teach them how to play to their strengths. And the big idea? Union College pushes you to go deeper in your faith and drives you to thrive. And that leads to the tagline, Finding Purpose, Unlocking Potential. These are built on brand pillars that are key messages that the rest of the messaging is built upon. Make faith the foundation of your future. Learning, service, and leadership are a natural fit for a school that puts you front and center in your education. Steady a career that connects to the real you. What you do here shouldn't just apply to the real world, it should transcend it. We do lifelong career growth at Union. Find new depth in your community and your soul. We teach you to explore ideas and communicate them in a diverse community, pushing you deeper. And serve is a verb at Union. Our compassion is global. We teach you to explore ideas and communicate them in a diverse community, pushing you deeper. And finally, mentorship made to measure. Mentorship isn't just scattershot at Union College. It's tested and true system, from business program to health and everything in between. In order to minimize waste and to carefully steward our resources, the rollout of this new brand is going to happen gradually over the next year or so, and probably even longer than that. But the work of integrating the imagery and the messaging into our campus and into our materials has already begun. In fact, you're probably already seeing it if you visit our website or our social media channels. And you'll continue to see it roll out in the things that you get in the mail and in other ways that you impact Union College as we continue to find new ways to strengthen Union College to provide that amazing experience that our students have come here to have.
Exciting to see our new brand unfold. It's fun to see it on campus. It's fun to see the new key messages being used. So thank you so much. My name is Michelle Menard. I'm the Vice President for Enrollment Services, and I'll be hosting our Q&A time this evening. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat, or you can use the reaction button at the bottom of your screen and put your hand up, or physically put your hand up to be recognized to ask a question. So the first question that we're going to respond to is, what types of scholarships are available, and do we have any new scholarships? So let me tell you a little bit about some of the scholarships that have been around for a while first, and then I'll get to some of the new ones at the end. We have had, the last 2 years, we've been giving need-based scholarships. And to me, that's very exciting because I think it's important for us to realize that there's some students that really need a little extra because they don't have the finances to make school work on their own. And so we've added a Union College scholarship that helps to make that easier. We still have our merit-based scholarships that are based on GPA, and those are still an important part of our scholarship program as well. One of the things that alumni, especially, I want to make sure you know about, our students that are children of graduates or grandchildren of graduates, we have a legacy scholarship, and it's a way to recognize students who are continuing the legacy of attending Union College. We also have leadership scholarships. We have ambassador scholarships that recognize students that bring skills to our campus and really help to promote our campus through music and sports. We also have programs where we match summer school or summer camp work and literature evangelism work. So what are the new ones? There's a couple of new ones that I want to make sure you hear about. The first one is called Bridge to Union Scholarship. And this is for students whose families make $60,000 or less each year. They will have their tuition covered at Union once they've accepted their federal aid, their federal grants and their federal loans. We'll cover the rest of their tuition. And we want to make sure that it's possible for every student who wants to come to Union to be able to come here. And I've seen in the past several years, students struggle. They want to be here, but financially they just couldn't make that gap work. And so that's what we're trying to address with the Bridge to Union Scholarship. Two other scholarships, and these ones are specifically for Mid-America Union Academy students. So we are doing a new scholarship for teachers, promising teachers and promising pastors. And at each of our Mid-America Academies this spring for graduation, we're going to be giving out a teacher, promising teacher and promising pastor scholarship at each of our Mid-America Academies. And that, I think, is exciting because that is one of our core missions, is to make sure that we preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, and that's a neat way to help encourage that. So those are just a few of our scholarships, not a comprehensive list, but just a few. So let me see, what other questions do you have?
Yeah, you can unmute if you'd like to ask directly. You don't have to necessarily put the question in the chat.
While we're waiting for some more questions to come in, Frankie, I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep.
Can you tell us about some of the strategic initiatives that the college is working on that might be interesting for our audience to hear?
Well, you know, I paused for a second because we're right in the middle of a process we're doing to identify the new strategic initiatives that we're going to be heading towards. So that's actually perhaps the most exciting thing we're working on right now. Is we have been collecting feedback from board members, many of our constituents, and that feedback has helped kind of crystallize into a list of, goodness, probably a couple hundred different potential strategic initiatives. Some of those things include, and I'm not going to shy away from saying it, some of those things include adding new degree programs to Union College, specifically at the master's level. That's something that we're going to probably be looking at very closely in the coming years. Looking at ways to blend together potentially the training of our undergraduates with the training at the master's level, giving the best bang for a buck for a person who's looking to achieve a master's degree. Those are a couple that come to mind.
Nice.
I'm curious, did the Kruger Center impact enrollment at all?
The next one's on my list. All right, well, I'm going to throw another one at you, Frankie.
Okay.
You
Sure.
ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, what current accomplishments would you like us all to be aware of? What are some of
Wow.
the new accomplishments that, well, I can tell you one of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
The OTA program.
Yeah.
I just so enjoyed
Yeah.
hearing them talk about that program and seeing the success of that program.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
Yeah, you feel a lot of energy when you walk into that space. The students and the faculty are they're doing a lot of good work over there. And I am very confident that that's a program that's going to be around for a very long time here at Union College, and it's going to produce graduates that make just huge difference out in the world. And so I'm very, very thankful for that. I'm thankful for a lot of things. I just was, earlier today, I was over in the Science Building, and this is very specific. This is very small, but I think it's relevant. I was over in the Science Building, and I was dropping off some chocolates for a faculty member that I was needing to appreciate. And as I'm dropping these chocolates off, I run into one of our senior pre-med students, and I'm chatting with her, and she just got accepted to actually a couple of medical schools. And she was so excited, and the reason why in particular is one of those medical schools has offered her a full ride. Oh, wow. So that's really rare. That doesn't happen very often. Medical school is very often very expensive. And so she has done so well in her preparations that here she is entering into medical school, looking forward to a future in which she can graduate as a physician debt-free from her graduate education, which is, that is incredible. So that's a very specific one that's really top of mind. That's just one example of dozens and dozens and hundreds of examples of our students that are doing here at Union College. And I'll mention that one. Can I go with that one?
Fantastic
okay,
one.
we'll go with that one. We'll go with that one.
Okay. Here's one that came over the chat. What impact did the Kruger Center the Kruger Center building have on our enrollment? And I wasn't actually working in enrollment when that occurred. I was teaching, but I know you were working in that building when it was built up. So what's your take on that? How did that impact our enrollment on campus?
Well, I think it had a pretty significant effect. For those who remember, we had a very beloved former science building, Jorgensen Hall, which had served us well for 70 years. And myself, when I was going to Union, I went through Jorgensen Hall and was, I appreciated my time there, and I learned a lot. However, by the time we got to towards the end there, the facility had really kind of gone into disrepair in some ways. It was tough to keep it up to code. One of the biggest things that began to happen, which was not ideal, was the second floor chemistry hoods began to vent chemicals from the hoods into the third floor biology area. And as a biologist, I will just raise my hand and say, that was not ideal for the education of the biologists. We would say that was probably impacting, who would want to come study with us. After we got the new building, it was just completely 180 degrees, because now the facility is perfect in every way. We have 6 chemistry hoods in every chemistry lab, and those hoods are well designed and will be for many, many years into the future. Any student right now who's studying science is studying in an area that is par none. It is one of the best science facilities out there, not just in the Adventist system, but outside of it. So at that immediate time when we opened it, we did see actually a pretty significant increase in our majors over in the science areas. Specifically in the biomedical science degree, that degree actually kind of took off around that time. And I do attribute a fair amount of that to the new science facility. So thank you. Many of you donated to that effort, and deep appreciation for the gifts you gave.
Our next question, what is Union's current enrollment? So this fall, our enrollment was 764 students. And this spring it's a little lower. It's always natural to have a slight decrease in students at second semester, but that's what it was this fall. And we're looking forward to a good year next year. So,
absolutely.
All right.
Any other questions?
I am not seeing any other questions come in from our chat. So I'm going to pass it on to Jennifer. Thank you so much for your questions. And oh, there's a question on the Zoom, I heard. But I'm not hearing the question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. I'm Diane Johnson Viscochill. I graduated in 1959, and I went on and did graduate work in special education, and I just completed 46 years in teaching special education after teaching in our academies for a while in Michigan and at Union College Academy too. And I'm curious, I've taught K through 12, and then I taught at a couple universities here, as well as a federal government program grant for Native Americans. And I'm wondering, do you offer a special education major there, like undergraduate or graduate degree?
Diane, thanks for the question. I appreciate it. And I would say we actually have 2 education degrees. One is in elementary education and one's in secondary education. We don't have a separate freestanding degree in special ed. However, I am fully aware that they have a special education coursework built into actually both of those programs that they take. And I actually do know of some of our graduates which have gone on, especially in their master's degree, to specialize in special education and to serve in that area. So I think there are definitely students who are following somewhat in your footsteps, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Congratulations on 46 years. That's awesome.
I'm still teaching, even part-time.
All right, another question in our chat. What percentage of our classes are virtual this year? Another one for you, Frankie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a relatively low percentage. So we've made a commitment here at Union College this year to do everything we possibly could to create a safe environment when it comes to COVID, so that we can have in-person classes, and we prioritize that. So we've done things like the appropriate distancing in the classroom. We have masking. We've even had some routine testing being done. And what that's allowed us to do is, except for, and I would estimate, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I would estimate about 5% or less of our courses are fully online, and 95% of our courses are in person. Now, there are occasional class periods where we've gone online. In fact, just a little bit, about a week or so ago, we had a snow, or you might even call it a cold day, where locally it was so bitterly cold that even the University of Nebraska, Lincoln here, UNL, actually closed their campus due to how cold it was. First time in recorded history that we know of. And so we actually closed down too, but we used the new format of online education using Zoom and the thing that we're on right now to actually keep our students connected and keep them progressing through their coursework. So we are using that and kind of leveraging that. And we also use it for some of our students who might be out of the classroom because they're in quarantine or isolation, so we try to keep them up to speed. But other than that, we are in person, and we hope to keep it that way. We're working hard to keep it that way.
Yeah, that's worked really well, and it's been nice for our students to be able to, even if they're in quarantine, to be able to still keep up in their classes and be active. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Daryl Hunegard has his hand raised.
One of the aims of Union is to make excellent students, to make excellent employees. What's the hiring rate of the various major departments within the college?
I guess I can take that?
Go
sure,
for it.
Sure. Daryl, that's a good question. What you're referring to in higher ed, the way we call that is a placement rate, which is basically what's the percentage of our graduates which are placed into a job, or some of them, of course, are placed into graduate school or medical school or any of those sorts of things. We have been measuring that, and we've been averaging around 90%, somewhere in that range. I have to say our president is very determined, and she would like to see that at 100%. And so there's the number for you. We're very proud of that. We are proud that our graduates do find a place to go, and not just a place to go, but a place to serve as soon as they leave Union College. But we are ever working on that to strengthen it.
Here's another question for you, Frankie. Yeah. What are the COVID plans for Union College currently and moving forward?
Oh, I can definitely answer this one. So there's a team, and I have to give full credit to the team. There's a team of individuals. In fact, if you look at how broad the team is, it really pretty much everybody at Union College is doing something to help keep this campus safe, even if it's just personally what they're doing in their own lives and how they're interacting on campus. But what we're doing are this. The main categories are, we do ask that everyone on campus mask. This is a very rare event, by the way. We're all feeling a little bit awkward in that we are 6 feet apart, but we have our masks off. Even when we have distancing on our campus, that's the second part of our barriers of putting up in the classroom 6 foot between each student and the instructor, we still have masks on the whole time. In addition to those two things, we have health checks so that in the morning when you come into the facility, you're asked if you have any symptoms that could be related to COVID. If you do, then you're of course referred to the nursing, the campus nurse, and you're checked out. Potentially you're tested, and then you're given a sticker. In fact, I don't have mine on anymore, but you're given a little sticker each day, and that sticker basically is a sign that you've gone through the check process, so that you can be in the buildings and go about your business. In addition to that, we've had testing, and that's something that's probably been a big leverageable asset to our campus over many other colleges and universities across the country. Very fortunate, and I'll give our governor and the state of Nebraska full credit, and that is they have provided free testing not only out in the community, but they've even given us pretty much as many test kits as we can handle. And so we have testing here on campus Monday through Thursday in the afternoons. Any person, student, faculty, staff can go get tested. We've been able to use that to help screen our population and make sure that the rates of COVID stay low, so that, number one, we keep our students out of quarantine and isolation. We've seen that that can really interfere with their studies and their success. And two, it helps prevent significant amounts of COVID being on our campus and anyone getting seriously ill. So, we certainly have had COVID on our campus, but we've been so far fortunate, and I would say even blessed, that we've been able to still have a very successful year so far. So that's what we're doing on campus with COVID.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. So thank you so much for all of your questions. Appreciate them so much. I'm going to pass it on to Jennifer Shaw.
Well, like Michelle said, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. I want to make sure that you all are aware that we are going to host our first virtual union reunion this April 16 and 17. Just like this event, there will be a registration email sent out to you with a link to register for Zoom. We're hoping to have it interactive, just like we've done today, with some talking in the beginning, notifying you guys of things that are going on, having great speakers, great music, and all the things that you love about Union's reunion weekend, but virtually, so that we can still connect together in a safe environment. We're really thankful and grateful to have two of our class members here for two of the honor classes. First, I would like to introduce Kathy Ballinger. She's going to talk to you guys and welcome you to come for Alumni Weekend.
Hello, can you hear me? I was a graduate in the class of 71. That class was a pretty cool class. And I remember when we graduated, it was pouring rain that day, and we graduated in the gymnasium. And we all marched to the back of the gym, and then we turned right around and marched back to the front because we could not go outside. Union sheltered us then, and it still does now. We returned back to Union as we do now. And so I am inviting you to come back to Union College virtual homecoming this year. Join your friends. And the cool thing is we get to have our own breakout room. It's a special breakout room where we can be together and talk and just not have to have all the people that don't know anything about us there. Just going to be us talking, and that'll be really fun. I think it'll be a cool time. If you don't come, it's not going to be the same without you. The more the merrier. It's really cool to hear from everybody and see what they're doing. Invite your classmates, invite people that you know. to get on and to join us for our class reunion. So I really hope you come. You can come to the comfort of your own room. You can remember that rainy day that we graduated, but it was a good day and it's been a good life. And Union has been so pivotal in our lives. So we would love to see you during our homecoming weekend, our virtual one.
We're also going to have Dan say a couple things. Dan, you want to welcome your classmates and friends to come?
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm Dan Carlson. I graduated in the class of 2000, which is hard to believe is 20 plus years ago now. It doesn't feel like that long. I've had the privilege of being part of Union in several different ways since I left, helping coach the basketball team, and currently helping to teach as an adjunct in the business department. So it's been a pleasure to be back on campus in lots of different ways. And I hope virtually this year, you guys can come back on campus and take the tours and listen to the music and just watch the kids do what they do. It's the same energy that I remember when I was here. When I come back on campus, the kids are still laughing, they're still running, they're still goofing around with each other. And the memories come back very quickly when I get to be close and part of Union. So if you get a chance to be part of that weekend at all, tell your friends and come back into the virtual classrooms and share the memories of what you did and all the fun times that you had there. And probably the best part about this is that you get to sit in your favorite chair while you do it. So no pews, no folding chairs. This is your favorite chair and a reunion. I don't know what could be better than that. So be there, and we're looking forward to it in April.
Thank you both so much. Yes, we are very excited to be creatively planning ways for us all to connect from a distance. And hopefully you all received a postcard. It does have a short schedule of events. There will be another mailing going out as well as email. And you can always check out ucollege.edu/reunion. And you can call our office as well. We're just really excited and hope that you guys will make plans to join us back here virtually in April 16 and 17. Up next, we have an announcement from Steve Trana, our VP of Finance.
Thank you, Jennifer. So yes, my name is Steve Trana. I'm the VP of Finance and a proud graduate of the class of '85. And I would like to invite you, our alumni, back to Union College for a very rewarding experience, and that is the second dorm room remodel Maranatha Volunteer Project. So during the summer of 2019, Maranatha and Union College remodeled 32 rooms on the 2 upper floors of the east wing of Reese Hall. That's our ladies' dormitory. And this summer, we are hoping to do 29 more rooms on the first and second floors of that wing. If you were involved in the project in 2019, it will be a little bit different this time because of the last minute cancellation of this project in the summer of 2020. Most of the materials have already been purchased and the cabinets have been pre-built and are waiting in storage for volunteers to come and install them. We also have waiting in storage materials for the floors and walls, the electrical and the plumbing. New rooms or new windows in those rooms have already been installed, which was a huge blessing to the ladies in those rooms during this extremely cold winter that we've had so far. So the best way to let Union College know that you're interested in helping out with this worthy project is to connect on the Maranatha International website, which is maranatha.org. This project will be taking place Sunday, June 6th through Friday, June 18th. And we would just like to thank anyone here who was involved in the project in 2019 and thank them for your support of Union College. And if you're unable to attend or help out this next summer, we would really appreciate your prayers and your just staying involved with Union College the way you have been tonight. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve. We're so blessed to have so many supporters of Union College that help in very different ways. And we do encourage you guys to keep us in prayers in all aspects of the Union College life, but especially as we prepare for this next renovation with Maranatha. There is more information on our website as well as in our weekly email that comes out every Thursday. And I'm sure there will be things on social media and in some of our churches as well. So there should be plenty of opportunities for you to connect and to share this opportunity with anyone you know that's looking to get involved. We're really, really thankful that you guys are all here. And we want to close with a word of prayer and then invite you guys, if you want to unmute and talk or chat with each other, we'll keep this open for a little bit and continue to talk with you guys. Michelle, would you have a word of prayer for us?
Sure, let's bow our heads. Lord God, I just ask a special blessing on each person who joined us this evening. And I just thank you for all that each of them has done to create the legacy of Union College. And Lord, I pray a blessing on the ministry that we have at Union as we help students to not only pursue their dreams and their career, but also to inspire them to pursue you and to connect with you. And Lord, I just ask your blessing in that mission. I pray all this in your name. Amen.
Amen.